is Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC7.
From Great American Ballpark in downtown Cincinnati, Ohio, we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC7. The upstart Reds have won the first 2 games of this series. The Cubs a couple games back in the National League Central. Great to have you with us today on Jim Deshaies' birthday. Happy birthday, JD.
Thank you, Len.
And we do have cake, so if you're in the area, you're welcome to stop by and have some. And let's get into our Hooters hot plays of the game. Home runs were the big story last night.
Yeah, Kyle Schwarber's been swinging a hot bat of late. He's gone deep in 3 of his last 4 ball games, 4 of his last 7. And like the one he hit at Wrigley the other day, good to see him using the big part of the yard. He's so strong, he can go deep any part of any ballpark. Suarez has been red hot. Eugenio Suarez in the middle of that Reds batting order. He went deep last night, leads the National League with 57 runs batted in.
The Hooters hot plays of the game brought to you by your Chicagoland Hooters. That'll take us into our updated NL Central standings. They are brought to you by the all-new Chicago Northside Toyota. You're going to like buying a car this way. How about Jesus Aguilar last night?
Yeah, breaks up a no-hitter with a solo home run and then a walk-off home run. All the scoring for the Brewers in their 2-1 win last night. The Reds, you see at the bottom of the division, but they're playing their best baseball of the year. They won 8 of 10, including 5 in a row.
They've also been a 500 club since beginning the year, 3-18, and the Cubs will face a guy they haven't seen in a couple of years. We'll talk today's starting pitchers when we come back to Cincinnati. Chicago. Baseball on ABC7 is being brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By U.S. Waterproofing. A better basement starts with us. By the all-new Chicago Northside Toyota. You're going to like buying a car this way. And by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Let's check out the business of baseball, brought to you by Comcast Business. Built for business. The Cubs have played very well against the Reds under Joe Madden, especially here 23-12, but it's turned around a little bit. You see the Reds have won 5 of their last 8. The Cubs are 3-4 here at Great American Ballpark in the season series so far. And that'll lead us into today's starting pitching matchup. Brought to you by Goodwill. Amazing finds only at Goodwill. Luke Farrell will get a spot start today.
Yeah, an interesting matchup. Farrell in that game against New York, the extra inning game, 5 scoreless innings, a big chunk of good work for him. You see over his last 6, a 1.54 ERA. DeSclafani one time was the lead man in this Reds rotation. Did not pitch in the big leagues at all last year due to injury, and has missed most of this year due to an oblique injury.
We'll have the lineups, the first pitch, and all the action as the Cubs try to win their first game in this 4-game series and try to end the Reds' 5-game win streak. We're back in a moment. And let's check out JD's Subaru keys to the game, presented by Subaru Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Let's whatever you came up with. We're going to go with pitch like it's your birthday, hit like it's your birthday, field like it's your birthday, and of course, if we had a 4th key, broadcast like it's your birthday.
Win like it's your birthday.
Now wait, they got that part wrong.
We had to reorder, had to get a new cake.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Happy birthday,
hey,
partner.
Thank you very much.
Audrey got you balloons.
Yeah, this
We've
is
got cake.
I'm all choked up here. This is above and beyond the Call of Duty to fet me in such a way.
Hopefully the Cubs can come up with a win on your birthday. And let's check out their Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Southwest Airlines low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Tommy La Stella in for the struggling Chris Bryant. Jason Hayward has not been struggling. 4 hits on Thursday. Zobrist, Rizzo, Contreras, and Schwarber in the middle. Kyle's last 3 hits have been home runs. Russell at short. Ian Happ is in center field, and Luke Farrell, the pitcher, batting 9th.
Reds defensively this afternoon. Duvall plays left. You'll find him out there just about every day. Speedy Billy Hamilton center. Winker plays right. He struggles defensively. He's been good with the bat in his hands. Suarez plays third today. Blandino spells Peraza at short. Jeanette back in there. He was off yesterday. He's joined by Joey Votto, forming one of the more potent right sides in all of baseball. Tucker Barnhart, rock solid behind the plate, and Anthony DeSclafani, as we'd mentioned, is the starting pitcher. He's 28. He's right-handed. He's making his 4th start. 2-1 with a 4.60. League bats .311 against him. Leans heavily on a fastball slider combination.
Here are your umpires. That's Greg Gibson behind the plate. The crew chief is Jerry Lane at first. Jordan Baker at second, and Jeremy Rayhack is over at third.
So this is big New Jersey matchup here.
Yeah.
And I noticed DeSclafani taking the mound. They had Springsteen playing. He's from Springsteen's hometown, Freehold, New Jersey.
Cubs 42 and 31, Reds 30 and 45, and the first pitch misses high and wide for ball 1.
There could be pink slips on the line with this matchup. DeSclafani and La Stella.
High pop fly into right. That's Jesse Winker out there, and he makes the grab. The sun just came out as that ball left the bat. He's got his sunglasses on. We got more rain showers this morning, but we're in good shape as we get going.
Let's take a look at the breakdown on DeSclafani in terms of pitch usage. So I mentioned heavy fastball slider. Over 90% of the time you're going to see one of those 2 pitches. Occasionally he'll mix in the curveball and a changeup, and you would think as he gets deeper into the game that would work against him. That heavy reliance on just 2 pitches. We'll see.
Now facing Jason Hayward, 4 for 5 in game 1. Hitless in 4 trips in game 2, and that one hit a ton but foul. And weather at first pitch is brought to you by 4 Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. For all the right reasons, call 866 4 Seasons. It's turned into a real nice Saturday afternoon here in Cincinnati, and a big crowd on hand as that pitch is off the inside corner. And there is a lot of Cubs blue in the stands. Outside for a ball. It's 2-1.
Yeah, a lot of Cubs blue here this weekend, and they've been leaving the ballpark in a blue mood. The Cubs dropping the first 2 to this Cincinnati club.
Hard hit on the ground. Nice sliding play by Jeanette. And Scooter gets Hayward for the second out.
Yeah, initially it looked like it was going to be a base hit. Hit pretty sharply, but Jeanette gets a nice break on it.
So 2 outs, nobody on. And it's the veteran Ben Zobrist, 2 for 3 last night. He's batting .330 on the road. Suarez in on the grass at third, and the first pitch is bounced foul past first. Every game so far in this season series has been played here, and the Cubs have lost 4 of 7. They've had leads in both games in this series, only to lose. fastball is low. I would call the Reds pesky because they're a last place club, but their offense has been anything but pesky. It's been good.
Yeah, they've got plenty of slugging in the middle of the batting order. It's not necessarily a deep lineup, but it's a dangerous lineup, and the pitching has been better of late, so they haven't had to score 7 or 8 runs to win a game. Overall, though, the Reds starting pitcher is still with an ERA above 5.
272 though over their last 10. Well located on a fastball to make it 2-2.
That's been part of the story in this series. Harvey was good in the opener. Went 6 innings, allowed just 2, and Castillo last night 5 2/3, 3 runs.
Swing and a miss. First strikeout for DeSclafani. Luke Farrell to the mound when we return. Brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. Alex Blandino leading off for Cincinnati. He was in for Scooter Gennett at second last night. He's playing short today for Jose Peraza. And ball 1 from Luke Farrell, getting a spot start due to the rain out on Monday and the resulting day-night doubleheader on Tuesday versus the Dodgers.
Well, Luke appeared 9 times out of the Reds bullpen last year, and Cubs claimed him on waivers in the last offseason.
27 years old. He's 6'6", 210 pounds. And still trying to find the strike zone here to start the game.
And here's what Luke features: fastball, slider, split, and curve. Likes to work the upper reaches of the strike zone. So more of a fly ball pitcher than a ground ball guy. That can be a little dicey in this ballpark.
And those percentages on the split change and the curve ball are low because he's been working out of the bullpen, and expect to see some more of those secondary pitches here today as a starter.
Yeah, I think we'd see the split a little bit against the left-handed bats in that extra inning game against the Mets, where he went 5 scoreless and really dominated. The slider was really good, had great depth to it, and he was able to work the fastball down, then climb the ladder with the heater, and then throw that sharp breaking pitch.
Pretty smart matchup here, huh? Northwestern against Stanford. Full count on the Reds leadoff man.
So if DeSclafani and La Stella were competing for pink slips, what would Farrell and Blandino, the Stanford Northwestern guys?
Summa cum laude? I don't know.
I'm smarter than you bragging rights.
Luke has largely been very good. He had those back-to-back games in St. Louis early this season in which he allowed game-ending home runs. But as you mentioned earlier, lately, really good.
I mean, look at the strikeouts to walks. Excuse me. He struck out 26, walked only 6.
And a leadoff walk to Blandino. And let's check in on the rest of the Reds lineup, brought to you by Fix Auto. Call 1-800-INFO-FIX for the nearest location. Fix Auto, the first words that should come to mind after an accident. Tucker Barnhart digging in. Then it gets really tough. Votto, Jeanette, Suarez. That is pretty impressive in the middle. Winker had the big grand slam the other night. Duvall finally in the 200s. DeSclafani 8th and Hamilton 9th, and launched to deep right, and just like that, it's 2-0. Tucker Barnhart with a long home run. The ball, JD, in batting practice was flying out of this ballpark. It might be one of those kinds of days.
Yeah, it's one of the best hitters ballparks in baseball. On a hot day where it's kind of sticky, the ball will really jump here. That's number 5 for Barnhart. And we talk so much about his defensive work, but he's capable as a hitter as well. And this is center cut, and he leans on it.
So 2-0. Brings up Joey Votto. I said they've been a lot better since Jim Riggleman took over on an interim basis early in the season. Stella drifting and into the stands. Did he catch it? He did.
Yeah. Will he ever come out? We don't know, but he made the catch.
What a play by Tommy La Stella. That was Baez-like.
It's in the air a long time. That gives him an opportunity to get over there, assess the situation. He's got some friendlies in there. There's a lot of blue he's going up into. Not that they were being all that cooperative. I would argue if you're wearing blue, disregard the ball, catch the third baseman. But it all ends well as Tommy goes headlong into the seats. Well, it ends well for everybody but that guy.
There was a big debate on the sports talk shows a couple of weeks ago. Remember, Baez went into the stands recently at Wrigley and kind of tumbled into a couple fans as Jeanette bounces foul. And the question was, if you're sitting in the front row and one of your players comes over to make a catch like that, should you have the presence of mind to not try to catch the ball and to try to help the player? And my thought is, fans generally, they're watching the ball, they're not watching the player.
Correct.
And they always want a souvenir.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little unfair.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's kind of like next level fandom, to disregard the ball and save the player. And, you know, everybody wants that souvenir.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Jeanette. As they talk it over. They say, oh yeah, we had him. We took care of Tommy. Made sure he got it. No problem. Jeanette leading the National League in hitting at .335. He had the night off last night. Farrell's next pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3.
Elevated cheese. Gets Jeanette. He doesn't walk much. He likes to swing the bat. And he's really transformed himself into quite a slugger.
Suarez leading the league in RBIs. 12-game hitting streak, six-game RBI streak, and a foul out of play. And consider he missed 16 games with a broken thumb early this season.
Well, there's a good slider, good tilt. Yeah, he's been awfully hot last 21 games. 354 OPS over 1,000, 7 home runs.
Reds got some bad news in the last 24 hours. Their top prospect, also a third baseman, Nick Senzel, suffered a right index finger injury, and he is done for the season. So any conversation about him coming to the big leagues this season has ended. And honestly, I don't know where he'd play because their infield's been pretty productive.
Yeah, unless they trade Jeanette, and there's been some talk that might happen. I'm not saying that the Reds are saying that, but there's speculation, as you would expect, a last place club with a guy like Jeanette, who's proven to be a very good run producer. You could see where teams would come calling, check in on him.
Suarez stays alive. So with the kind of a bullpen day today, and the Cubs hope to get 4 or 5 out of Farrell if they can. Would have been nice to win at least one of the first 2 with Hendricks and Quintana on the mound. Didn't work out that way. And Suarez lays off that pitch. They've got Edwards and Morrow on the DL. So this is a tough stretch for the Cubs pitching staff.
And bullpen has a little different look these days, and just a little leaky here of late.
Farrell into his motion, and the 2-2 is wide with Winker on deck. And you see he has stayed away from Suarez throughout this sequence. The game-winning home run for Suarez last night was on a misplaced changeup from Jose Quintana. Swing and a miss. So he gets him on the slider. 2-run homer Barnhart. 2-0 Reds.
News, Terrell Brown, Tanya Babich, Roz Varon, and meteorologist Tracy Butler get you ready for the week with the latest news, weather, and traffic.
Cubs in an early 2-0 hole as Anthony Rizzo leads off. 2 for 20 against DeSclafani. Make it likely 2 for 21 as Duvall will handle it in left.
And Joe leaning pretty heavy to the left with his lineup here today. The splits so far this year not really good either way for DeSclafani. Again, very small sample. He's only pitched, well, this would be his 4th start. Well, you look at the career numbers and it makes sense to lean left against him. That fastball slider combo plays pretty well against right-handed hitters, and until he starts to command another off-speed pitch, lefties would have an advantage.
Swing and a miss by Contreras. DeSclafani's last few seasons really derailed by injuries, twice due to a sprained oblique. Missed a couple of months to start 2016 and this season, and then the sprained UCL in his right elbow cost him all of last year.
Yeah, opted not to have surgery. Just rested, rehabbed. 28 years of age, 6'1", 195.
Contreras struggling, 4 for 30 over his last 9 games. And that comebacker did not get to the corner, according to Greg Gibson.
Contreras has been pretty good with 2 strikes on him this year. Power just has not developed for him lately. A lot of ground balls to the left side of the infield. That may be a case of pressing a little bit, trying to force the issue, trying to turn and lift the ball, and you pull off a ball away, you're likely to hit it on the ground.
Hits that one pretty well out into deep right, and it's gone. He just got it over the wall. A bullet the other way. And the Cubs are on the board.
Well, and that's exactly what Joe Madden wants to see from Wilson Contreras. You got good gap power, stay through the middle of the diamond. We've been talking about it ad nauseum all year long with Javi and to a certain extent Kyle Schwarber. And this is a slider outer third and doesn't try to pull it, just rides it on out of here. Home run number 5 for Contreras. First one since May 12th against the White Sox. And Jim Riggleman wants to see if whether there was possible fan interference on that ball.
And this possibly could be a crew chief review on these boundary calls. And I think they are going to take a look at it.
That was an interesting note we just threw up there. First home run against a National League team for Wilson this year. Doesn't mean anything, it's just interesting.
So this is actually a crew chief challenge brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. So even if it remains a home run, Jim Riggleman will not lose his challenge. These types of replays are kind of baked into the system. And yeah, if you're Jim Riggleman, why not ask? That should remain a home run. Looked like it was.
It might have even bounced off the top of the wall into his glove.
And it is a home run. So that did not take long. That will bring up Kyle Schwarber, who homered last night.
To get Jerry Lane back into position down there at first base. That's a big right side of the umpiring crew right now with Baker and Lane out there. They're dwarfing the Reds infielders.
That is a strike.
Look at that. Baker is 6'7", 6'8", and Lane's a big man as well. You're Kyle and you look out there, you see the 3 Reds and the 2 umpires. There's nowhere I can go.
Well, Venable getting out of the way. And Baker listed at 6'7". Played college baseball at Oklahoma State. Just got a piece of it.
That's a big strike zone.
Outside for a ball. Early lead for the Brewers over Miles Michaelis and the Cardinals 2-0 after 1. Cardinals have dropped 3 in a row.
Cardinals are 6.5 games back, the furthest they've been out all year. So last night, Luis Castillo, the young right-hander, was 95-mile-an-hour fastballs with good movement and changeups.
Schwarber swung at it. That's strikeout number 2 for DeSclafani.
Cub fans, everybody in summer has finally arrived, and the best place to spend your summer weekends is at Wrigley Field. Plan now, get tickets to watch weekend matchups against the Reds, Cardinals, and Padres. Cubs.com to place your orders today.
A strike on Addison Russell. He was off last night due to a sore knuckle. Aggravated on a swing a couple of days ago. Javi Baez on the bench today. And available for late duty along with Albert Almora Jr. And the pitch. Out into right center. That's where Billy Hamilton roams. Wilson Contreras getting the Cubs on the board. And the Cubs within 1. 2-1 early. Cincinnati. Back here in Cincinnati, the Reds batting in the bottom of the second against a former Red, Luke Farrell. And a curveball missing on Jesse Winker, who hit a game-winning grand slam on Thursday. One of their outfielders, Scott Schebler, is out, currently on the bereavement list. Here comes a 1-1, and it's just off the outside corner. It's a family affair for Luke. His brother Jeremy is the Cubs minor league infield coordinator. His brother Shane is a Cubs Midwest area scout. Ripped into right. Let's check out the perfect pitch, brought to you by Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy.
This is Luke working with the Reds against the Red Sox last year, and a tip of the cap from his dad John over in the Red Sox dugout. That's kind of fun.
Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy, traditional German Weiss beer with natural lemonade flavor. For a taste that's perfect lakeside, dockside, or just plain outside. Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. Welcome to the Liney side. John actually took a day off last year from his duties with the Red Sox to see Luke make his big league debut as a starter with Kansas City. He didn't pitch well that day, but it was really cool that his dad was able to be there. And John does some scouting now for the Reds. Ground ball to third. Late adjustment by La Stella, and they'll only get one. So the ball reaches on a fielder's choice. I don't know if that ball changed direction on Tommy. We'll get a better look here. And he was going to backhand and then decided to play it.
Yeah, it was awkward looking, but he got the job done. Got the lead man. Tough double play to turn with two long throws there. The ball moves pretty well.
Well, the pitcher DeSclafani, 138 lifetime hitter. Popped up on a bunt attempt. Contreras with a great effort. Gets a pat on the backside from Billy Hamilton.
Yeah, he
appreciates defense.
Not as athletic as any catcher in the game. He and JT Real Muto with the Marlins. It's a spectacular effort. Interesting that Jimmy Riggleman has DeSclafani bunting here with one out, trying to set up an RBI opportunity for Billy Hamilton, who hasn't had a lot of success in the batter's box. He's been better lately.
I think sometimes in this spot it's as much about just not hitting into a double play, right?
Yeah, but you know, for me in this situation, I would be less concerned because if that did happen, then you have Hamilton, the speedster, leading off the next inning. And
fair point by you.
I just don't know if if I'm going to trust Hamilton to drive in the run. But again, he's been better lately, and that maybe what's driving Riggleman's decision here.
Well, he strikes out.
The Cubs are celebrating Bud Fridays in the Budweiser bleachers all season long. On Friday the 29th, Cubs play the Twins. That'll be fun. First pitch 4:05, and up to the first 5,000 early arriving adults 21 and older in the Budweiser bleachers receive a Cubs mesh cap presented by Budweiser. For details, visit Cubs.com/Fridays.
Twins lost to the Rangers last night, and they're trailing again today 9-4 in the 7th inning. Minnesota in danger of dropping 7 below 500.
The Indians remain the only team in the AL Central above 500. They're starting to heat up. They've won 5 in a row. So the Cubs are seeing an interleague play this year. You've yet to see the Royals.
Yeah, you look at that division and you say that should benefit the Cubs, but then again, the entire NL Central gets to play. Kansas City and the White Sox and the Twins and Detroit.
I think it factors more in the wild card formula.
White Sox last night snapped an 8-game skid. Cleveland has really beaten up on the Tigers. 5-0 in Cleveland versus Detroit this year. And Contreras racing over again, but no play. If you're feeling lethargic or ready for a nap, just watch him play. That'll give you a little energy.
Yeah, if you could bottle that.
You're right about Hamilton. 9 for his last 18 during a modest 5-game hitting streak. First inning homer by Tucker Barnhart gave the Reds a 2-0 lead. Contreras with a solo shot in the top of this second. Hamilton's walk rate is up 11%. And Contreras again with no play. Ouch.
Yeah.
Hit that fan in the middle of the back.
Nobody stepped up and played hero there and made a play on that. Cast aspersions on anyone, but it seems like the fellow on her right there would have tried to make a play.
Long battle here. Foul.
Yeah, you mentioned Hamilton's walk rate. That's always been the story with Billy Hamilton. Will he get on base enough to justify everyday playing time? Because he's a real weapon, obviously, with that speed. He can turn walks into doubles, so you don't worry too much about the lack of slugging. It's just the on base. If he gets on base enough, he could be an elite player. He's one of the best defensive players in the game.
Former shortstop has become, as JD mentioned, an elite defensive center fielder. That is not where he's going to make a living offensively in the air, and Farrell finally gets him after 2. Cincinnati 2 and the Cubs 1. Mattress Firm, where your budget stretches further. Yeah, the Reds are pitching well. Their rotation the last 10 games among the best, and they have won 8 of those 10 games. Sclafani slings it in there for a strike on Ian Happ.
Yeah, I would never try to make the case that the Reds are going to ultimately be a contender this year, but they could be tougher to beat in the second half of the season. Pitching starting to round into form.
That one got away from them. So the Mets started the year winning 11 of 12. The Reds lost 18 of their first 21. Yet in the overall standings, the Mets are only 2 games ahead of the Reds. They've fallen on hard times, and the Reds have been a lot better here lately, but sometimes those small 2-3 week stretches can kind of skew your expectations.
Yeah, and in this instance it costs Ryan Price his job, and Jim Riggleman, who was the bench coach, has settled in as the interim.
Yeah, they lost his first 3 games, so after that they've gone 27 and 27.
Ian Happ, the former University of Cincinnati Bearcat, has enjoyed hitting here in Cincinnati. 14 out of 37. That's a .378 batting average with 5 home runs.
He draws the leadoff walk. Yeah, he was in the honors business program over at the University of Cincinnati. Talking with him today, he said he was recruited by a lot of Midwestern schools, Big Ten schools and the like, and he liked that Cincinnati was in the Big East, playing a lot of teams in warmer weather. Farrell, a left-handed batter, squaring early as DeSclafani throws to first. Suarez already way in at third. But 0 for 2 represents his lifetime at the big league level. And a bunt. Barnhart will pick it up and get the out at first. No drama, just get it down.
Yeah, you know, ideally, you know, in this situation, like to bunt the ball towards first base, but the most important thing is just get it out of the way from the catcher a little bit, especially when you got a guy like Happ on base. That's why it's nice to have that 8-hole hitter who can run a little bit. You don't have to get a perfect bunt down to advance him. In this case, it was an outstanding bunt. Mission accomplished for Farrell. RBI chance for LaStella.
Cornerman will still pinch a little bit. LaStella with that great defensive play earlier, and it's the save of the game, brought to you by Feldco. Right now at Feldco, save big with free installation on all windows, siding, and doors. Call 866-4FELDCO today. Votto's reaction.
Yeah, a great play made even better because it was Votto who took his bat away from him.
Happ will hold. Stella is out. That leaves things up to Jason Hayward. Retired on a nice play by Jeanette in the opening inning. First pitch misses. This ballpark opened 15 years ago. Replaced Riverfront Stadium / Synergy Field, which was right next door. They actually had to demolish the center field area of the old park in December of '02. to start building this place. Check that. That ballpark was demolished in December of '02, but they had to take part of it away when they were building Great American.
Yeah, I remember there was kind of a hole looking down the left field line, is what I recall of the old place.
Now the Western Concourse here in the Reds Hall of Fame, that area, that's where the old park was. On the ground, that'll take Votto right to the bag. And the Cubs leave a man in scoring position, trailing 2-1. Back here in Cincinnati, it's 2-1 Reds. Luke Farrell to Alex Blandino. And a strike. Blandino drew a leadoff walk in the first, and then Tucker Barnhart hit a 2-run homer.
It's been kind of a story here in this series. Haven't gotten away with too many walks, especially of the leadoff variety. Not all walks are created equal. You know, Joey Votto, you walk him, it's like, well, okay, he does that a ton. That's the nature of his approach to the plate.
Called strike 3.
Tuesday, July 3rd, Cubs take on the Tigers. First pitch will be at 1:20, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans receive a fun Cubs themed Hawaiian shirt presented by NBC Sports Chicago. Good seats still available. So jump on board Cubs.com to get your ducats. There's a fun shirt.
There you go. Outside to Barnhart. 2-run blast. His 5th of the year. Won a Gold Glove last year.
The batting average from the other side has been a lot better for Barnhart, but all 5 of his home runs have come as a left-handed batter, as Brian Dunsing is starting to crank it up.
Now 2-1. Hit hard and caught. Nice stab by Rizzo. So Barnhart is out.
Barnhart's been right on it twice, the home run, and now this rocket. Nice snare by Big Riz.
Farrell will face Votto with 2 outs and nobody on. I'm talking about the old ballpark here. You know, of a lot of the older parks that have gone by the wayside, one that I really would be in my top 3 or 4 that I would love to have gone to is Crosley Field. It was a real intimate ballpark. First Major League night game was played there, right?
Yeah.
They had that terrace.
Yeah, a little berm out
in the outfield. A little slope, kind of like Tal's Hill. Just looking at old pictures of Crosley Field, it looked like a really neat ballpark. They played there from 1912 till the middle part of 1970. Before they moved into the all-purpose riverfront. That's the most famous Reds ballpark here because the Big Red Machine played its home games at riverfront. If you get a little hot there on the old AstroTurf in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, that could be a musty ballpark. Oh, good pitch. Backdoor breaker on 3-1. Well, that's a pretty good company there for Mr. Votto.
Yeah, he's not going to be the all-time leader. Ted Williams, 482. Billy Hamilton, it's the Hall of Famer.
Sliding Billy Hamilton.
Votto with a walk, so I guess right on cue. And he has now walked in 8 consecutive games. Looks like that'll be it for Farrell. Here comes Joe Madden. This call to the pen is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. That clock paying homage to old Crosley Field. We'll be back to Cincinnati. America runs on Duncan. Scooter Gennett with a little high five from a young Reds fan.
Now here comes Brian Dunsing. He's been away from the club on the bereavement list, and check out the numbers. 2-0 with a 4.50 earned run average.
Out into deep right. Hayward chasing after it. He won't get it. And Votto to third. He's going to be sent. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it's airmailed by Russell. Boy, the Cubs had a shot at Votto. Hayward's throw missed the first cutoff man, Zobrist. Russell then threw it over Contreras, and it's 3-1.
Cash in another walk, the 2-out walk to Votto. Jeanette first pitch ambush on Dunsing, and Brian has given up runs of his own in 3 of his last 4 appearances, and Jeanette, the left-handed hitter, jumps all over him here. You saw Billy Hatcher in the game last night be fairly conservative with Votto. This time, though, very aggressive. The throw gets over the first cutoff man, but still an accurate throw gets him.
I agree.
Easily.
I think Jason may have lost sight of that ball for a second. And when it was originally hit, it looked like it might be a shot off the wall. And it ended up not being, and there's another base hit. Jeanette around third, and Schwarber will toss it back in towards second. It's 4-1. 2 big 2-out hits. Suarez now with his 58th RBI. He's got a 13-game hitting streak and a 7-game RBI streak.
Well, the Reds waste no time. First pitch swinging at Jeanette and Suarez. They both cash in. Schwarber had a thought, opted not to, and made the prudent choice.
So Dunsing just back from the bereavement list, greeted pretty rudely by the Reds. Luke Farrell gave up 3 runs in 2 2/3. That last run charged to Dunsing, and his 1-0 to Winker is off the inside corner.
You know, 56 pitches for Farrell today, plus his warm-up, so that'll take him out of action for at least a couple of days. It's been since Sunday when Brian last worked.
So Winker draws the walk. That's 4 straight 2-out reaches for the Reds.
Thursday it was a 6-run 6th inning that flipped the script in the Reds' favor, and most of that came after 2 were out.
And the batter is Duvall, sitting at 201 on the year. Much of the year has been under 200, and Suarez slipped as he got a secondary lead. He was 35 feet off the base. Two men on, 2 runs in. It'll be a long bullpen day for the Cubs. It is kind of a double whammy, needing to use a reliever to start today, and then not having Carl Edwards and Brandon Morrow, who are both on the DL.
And in the situation of tomorrow with Tyler Chatwood scheduled to pitch, and we're getting ready to have a baby at any moment. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to play out. The other part
I
of it
think Mike Montgomery could start if he had to. It would be on normal rest, but the plan is Chatwood tomorrow, Montgomery Monday in Los Angeles. Tough play for Dunsing. And everybody's safe. Bases loaded.
A couple solid hits, but now a little weak one, a little tapper. When it rains, it pours. I don't think there was any way that ball was going to trickle foul, but it might have been worth it to let it go just in case, because there was no play to be made.
So it is the pitcher DeSclafani with the bases loaded and 2 outs. The Reds' longest winning streak this year is 6. They're currently on a 5-gamer. Two 2-0 on the pitcher. That 6-game streak happened in May. And included a 4-game sweep at the Dodgers. Gotta recalibrate here.
Yeah, he's
3-0.
having one of those whatever you do moments. Whatever you do, don't walk the opposing pitcher. And he's got 3-0. And not only with the opposing pitcher up there, but the base is juiced. And DeSclafani will probably take 2, definitely 1. And should be taking all the way here as well.
Full count on DeSclafani. Deep to left, and it is a grand slam. First major league home run for Anthony DeSclafani, and he's going to take his time.
Wow. That's all I got.
It's about the worst possible sequence for a guy where you miss on 3, then you got to pump fastballs, right? So he gets 2 good looks at fastballs, and you throw him another one with the bases loaded. You figure he was going to take a big hack.
Yeah, and you know, DeSclafani's a pretty good athlete, but you know, it'd be one thing if it were Lorenzen or Arrieta or Madison Bumgarner, one of those guys you know can really swing it. Usually the biggest challenge there after 3-0 is you come back 3-1, 3-2, and then you misfire with the 3-2 pitch. You try to throw a little harder or be a little too fine, and you end up walking the guy. You know, that's just a complete ambush there. Second grand slam of this series for the Reds. They've now hit 7 on the season.
And all of those have come over the last 33 games. Wow.
Yeah, this is what the Cubs are used to doing to the Reds when they come to Cincinnati. And Brian started the year. He was outstanding. Had a 0 ERA through May 11th. But
And this is going to fit a big hurting on his ERA. 5 runs allowed, and has not recorded an out. And the Reds are doing it this series with big innings. And that ball I thought was caught by Zobrist. Yep, it was. And the inning finally comes to an end, but it's 8-1 Reds.
Casinos, your entertainment escape.
The previous grand slam by a Reds pitcher was hit by Bob Perky on August 1st, 1959 against the Cubs. And I'm sure that one was at Crosley Field. If not, it was at Wrigley. And I guess Jim Ferguson is at the ballpark here, a former PR chief, and he was at that game. Bounced foul by
Jim's
Zobrist.
fault is what you're saying.
DeSclafani, the first major league pitcher this season to hit a grand slam. 1-2 on Zobrist. And strikes out.
Tony Cloninger once hit 2 in the same game. Wow. A rare day for Zobrist to go down swinging twice.
Guess JT Realmuto has hit a grand slam today for Miami. They're in Colorado, leading 6-1 in the 7th. A bounding ball to Votto. Here's Contreras with 2 outs. He hit a line drive homer to right in the 2nd. That's the Cubs' only hit here in the first 4 innings. DeSclafani facing the Cubs for the first time since July 6th, 2016. 2-2 lifetime with a .370. Our Toyota home run cam. Foul out of play.
DeSclafani, his velocity has gone up just a little bit as he's progressed through these starts here. And again, this is just his 4th one this year. Strained an oblique in spring training. He spent a bunch of time on the DL. See that the fastball inside on our Xfinity strike zone. The slider away, outer third anyway, is what Contreras hit for the home run last time up.
Our home run can, by the way, brought to you by Toyota. Tested, trusted Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Not sure what's going on here.
What's going on here?
I don't know, but Brandon Hyde just got ejected.
Well, Contreras stepped out and he was looking in his dugout.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on. If
I can understand a coach or manager griping with an umpire getting kicked out, but I wonder what Contreras, he kept stepping out.
yeah, he's stepping out looking over to the dugout. I don't know if it was because somebody was barking in the dugout, yeah, and he was distracted, or if he was looking for a little support,
right,
or something he had an issue with, and I just don't know.
And now Brian Butterfield will chat with Wilson.
I think it was Brandon that got ejected.
Yeah, his reaction would make you think so. Bounced foul near the Cubs dugout. I didn't see anything. Taken low.
Well, a little bit after what we just showed, Brandon did get very loud, demonstrative. Again, I don't know the roots of it all.
Suarez to first, and Contreras is out. And this frustrating afternoon continues. It is 8-1 Cincinnati. weekend. Meteorologists Cheryl Scott, Larry Mowry, Tracy Butler, and Phil Schwartz alert you first to changing conditions and severe weather. ABC 7 Eyewitness News, your AccuWeather station. Trying to get to the bottom of why Brandon Hyde got ejected, and one theory is that Wilson had stepped out and possibly Greg Gibson, the home plate umpire, had been telling him to get back in the box, and that may have spurred the dugout to get on Gibson. We'll find out after the game.
Obviously, there's a lot of talk about pace of play and trying to keep the game moving, and maybe Gibson's just a guy who really pushes for that.
Landino grounds out. And as I said before, as he was stepping out, he was looking into the dugout, so it wasn't as if he was just stepping out to step out. Okay, so asking for time. It looked like Mike Borzello was chatting with Greg Gibson, and you see Brandon Hyde on the left, and there's where Hyde gets ejected.
That will come with a fine. I don't know what the fine is these days for an ejection.
Three 3-0, so Dunsing's got to eat up some outs here, and I'm sure this is something he wants to do after giving up the 5 runs. And we're only in the 4th inning, so the goal here is just to not use your entire bullpen to get through the rest of this day. Certainly would love to see the Cubs come back and make it a ball game, but there are certain days on the schedule like this where you got to get through the game without eating up your entire pen. Good dig by Rizzo.
MLB At Bat is your #1 Cubs app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Cubs home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Votto with 2 outs. Swing and a miss.
Backhanded play by Russell, and then a little pick deep in the heel of the glove by Anthony. Good job hanging on to that.
Well, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
You're celebrating our colleague Bob Vorwald's birthday. My mom Sharon's birthday.
Yes. Yeah, happy birthday.
So June
Sharon
23rd.
and Bob.
A big day.
And Lockport's own Tom Holler was born on this day.
It's also the 34th anniversary of one of the most famous performances in Cubs history, the Rhino game. He didn't have the game-winning hit, but he tied the game twice with home runs. The best part of that whole thing is, was it Willie McGee hit for the cycle and was named player of the game already on NBC?
Did
and
they have to rescind it?
They had to go back later and say, well, I think it was Rhino. Got to get those sponsorships in. Votto takes a called third. And we go to the 5th. It's the Reds 8 and the Cubs 1. ABC 7 rebroadcasts its Cubs matchups on the Live Well Network. Tonight's Cubs Reds Encore will air in its entirety at 7 p.m. on ABC 7's digital channel 7.2 and the following cable channel positions. Kyle Schwarber leading off the fifth. DeSclafani's been very good. Gave up just the home run to Contreras in the second and a leadoff walk to Happ in the third. Got that long arm stroke. Three and 0.
Wow, Kyle thinking, but even on 2-0, down 7, he's trying to find a way to get on base, get something started.
So leadoff walk in the fifth.
That's a bad walk. 4-pitch walk with a 7-run lead. DeSclafani obviously has to get through this inning to qualify for the win. Sometimes that fifth inning can be a little bit of a psychological hurdle for a pitcher.
He's only at 56 pitches. This is his fourth start off the disabled list. And a foul strike on Russell. Somebody made a play. The mighty Ohio. Strike two.
Sinker at the knees.
High for a ball. Clayton Kershaw will be back off the DL for the Dodgers tonight in New York. Dodgers have won 10 straight against the Mets. Two off the end of the bat, popped into left. Duvall will make the play.
Check out the variety of luxury premier options that Wrigley Field has to offer for your next client, corporate, or family function. Like an all-inclusive suite experience, daily suite rentals are still available for select games throughout the season. For details, visit Cubs.com/premier.
Well, Duvall Herrera is 0 for 3 as the Phillies are tied 2-2 with the Nationals in D.C. today. I mention that because he's got a 5-game home run streak that has tied the Phillies club record. And he's 3 away from tying the all-time record of 8.
Don Mattingly's got a piece of that record.
It's an Aaron Nola Eric Fetty matchup. Rob Zastryzny up in the Cubs bullpen. Rosell Herrera of the Royals took away an Alex Bregman homer in the 8th last night and then hit a game-winning RBI triple in the 9th to snap Kansas City's 9-game losing streak. That was a 1-0 final.
Is that the same Rosell Herrera that was here earlier this year?
I believe it was.
Can't be too many of those guys roaming around.
Yep. That's a base hit. Schwarber will stop at second. Good exit velocity there off the bat of Ian Happ.
Yeah, that ball was blistered. So walk single for Ian here today. Two-seamer, not much sink. Just kind of flattens out. Second hit of the day for the Cubs. They had just 4 in the ball game last night. Got beat 6-3.
Almora batting for Dunsing. With 2 on and 1 away. Down the right field line, it is going to be a foul ball. Just foul. That would have scored a couple.
Yeah, 8-3. Almora possibly standing on third base. If this ball manages to stay fair. It's got slice spin though, and maybe by a foot.
Rough day for Dunsing.
He'd like a mulligan.
Here's the pitch. Suarez gets the out at second. I think he missed Schwarber on the tag. He did. First and third, 2 outs. Nice play on the short hop pick by Suarez. Play by Schwarber, and he was probably a foot away from being out of the baseline as he eluded that tag. It's always kind of a nebulous call too, isn't it? You got like 3 feet either way.
Yeah, and it's basically a stride.
That's kind of on the fielder too, I think. If you really reach and you don't get him and you make that runner really go out of his way, you can kind of buy a call. Almost foul.
Be a good time for a home run number 1 for Tommy La Stella. Home run distance there, but foul. The other part of that play from the base runner's perspective, you know, guys going from first to second on that ground ball to the second baseman are schooled. You know, whatever you do, don't get tagged. It happens obviously less frequently. Second to third, it's kind of next level thinking to have that same mindset.
A 2-1. Now 2-2 on La Stella.
You kind of walk that fine line as a hitter in this situation. You're down 7 runs with a couple guys on, so you're thinking, man, if I can knock one out of the ballpark, do some damage here, I can really change the narrative of this ball game. But you don't want to get out of your game.
Charged by Jeanette. And we got catcher's interference. Oh yeah, La Stella didn't run. He kind of half jogged to first. He was convinced it was catcher's interference, I believe. And Greg Gibson didn't make the call.
And Tommy's asking Tucker Barnhart, and Barnhart said no. And so I think Tommy's like, okay, it's interesting. It's like they're on the playground.
So the rally fizzles, still 8-1. Pitching changes brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. Rob Zastryzny, third Cub pitcher today.
Fifth appearance at the big league level for Rob. He's got a 2.08 ERA. Fastball, cutter, curveball. Over the left-hander. Upper 80s heater for the most part. Good curveball. Good control.
Jeanette grounds foul. Cubs played a terrific series against the Dodgers. They won 2 out of 3. In danger of losing the first 3 here in Cincinnati as Rizzo makes the play 3-1.
Ryan Dunsing's line today, inning in the third, 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned. A walk, a strikeout, a home run allowed, 33 pitches. And Brian's ERA now sitting at 6.17.
A lot of narratives that are used in other sports are ascribed to baseball, and I think we both agree are largely irrelevant. One of those is play up or down to your competition. I don't quite get that idea. You speak of emotional, energy and all that stuff, and Reds have outplayed the Cubs this weekend. That's it. It's not like you're not trying as hard as you are against the Dodgers or the Nationals or the Brewers or anything like that. And being revved up doesn't help you.
No, yeah, it's not like you get fired up. I mean, I think you can look forward to a certain series against a really good team, or you're facing good pitching, and manage could be interesting. But in terms of the approach and how you play the game, it's just the nature of baseball. It's a 162 game schedule, and bad teams beat good teams all the time.
Well, the other thing is the Cubs were all almost to a man asked, is this a big series, when the Dodgers came in, and almost all of them said, nah, it's just kind of another series on the schedule. And I think they were right. And actually, you look at the Reds, they've been really bad against their own division. They've almost been a 500 club outside the Central. They've gone 1-5 versus Milwaukee, 1-9 against the Cardinals, 4-6 versus Pittsburgh, and a win today would make them 5-3 against the Cubs if they hang on. So I think the biggest story here is everybody else in the division kind of having its way with the Reds, and that has not been the case for the Cubs to this point.
A lot of times in baseball, it's not the who, it's the when.
Yes.
Right? It's when you face a club, and all of a sudden they got some hot hitters. Their pitching is in good shape, and the bullpen's rested. And bad teams will have really good runs. Good teams will have bad stretches.
I think Anthony Rizzo wants a little of the Suarez mojo here. Three and 1 to Winker.
Winker's one of those guys, the more you see him play, the more you like his approach at the plate. Really balanced in the box. He's quiet. He's got a real nice swing.
24 years old. And he walks, so he's been on all 3 times. Hey, take the latest news, weather, and video with you wherever you go. Get the ABC 7 Chicago News app today. Duvall is 1 for 2 with a run. Infield hit his last time up. Back everywhere on the infield, looking at a shot at 2. They play him to pull in the outfield, hat deep in center. And the pitch. A foul. It's 1-1.
Well, wacky things can happen in a hurry in this ballpark. So it may seem strange to say it, but this could prove to be an important plate appearance here in this 8-1 game. It's still just the 5th inning.
Red Sox were down 10-5 to the Mariners. Beat them at Fenway last night 14-10. Mariners have dropped 5 in a row. And they're 0-4 to start an Eastern swing. Got swept in New York. Looks like we're going to be close to a sellout here. Upper deck's not completely full, but pretty close. One more tomorrow before the Cubs head to Los Angeles for 4. Another foul. And Rizzo without a play. Tyler Chatwood and Sal Romano, the scheduled starters for Sunday.
Strisny was primarily a starting pitcher as he worked his way through the Cubs system, all out of the bullpen this year down at AAA. 17 times he worked at Iowa. ERA touched below 4. 8 appearances, 1 start for the Cubs in 2016. Saw him 4 times last year. Had some injury issues. Made 7 starts at AAA. Been up and down, but hasn't pitched a whole lot at the major league level yet in his career. He was a 2nd-round pick, University of Missouri. You see, a lefty, upper 80s guy. You would think changeup, but we haven't seen much in terms of a changeup from Rob. And I don't know, maybe when he was starting in the minor leagues, he featured that a little bit more. But at the big league level, it was mostly fastball, curveball, and a cutter. You think lefty, not a velocity guy, you would automatically assume changeup.
Yes. Yep. Trying to put away Duvall. And Duvall keeps depositing foul balls into the seats. This time he gets him on the curve.
Well, not a change up, but certainly a good change of pace as he pulls the string on the slow curveball and catches Duvall out in front.
Reds fans giving DeSclafani a big hand after his third inning grand slam. Schwarber in left. And the Reds strand a couple. They lead this game 8-1. Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC 7 is being brought to you by the Lincoln Motor Company, by Insure on the Spot. For quality insurance you can afford, head to insureonthespot.com. By Lakeside Bank, personal customized banking. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. And by Autobarn Alfa Romeo in Evanston. For the largest selection on new Alfa Romeos, shop the Autobarn Alfa Romeo in Evanston.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. And to this point, you probably would not be inclined to retransmit, rebroadcast, disseminate, copyright, tape, or relive this ball game.
Outside to Hayward. For ball one, we're in the 6th inning. It's 8-1 Reds.
Well, 2-3-4 here in the 6th, so if you're going to get back in it, this would be an opportune time. DeSclafani was originally drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays. He was a 6th rounder a few years back. Traded in that big deal, that big mega deal they did with the Marlins. That's where he broke in. Just a little big league time with them. And then moved along here to Cincinnati in a deal that sent Matt Latos, you remember him, the big right-hander, went down to South Florida.
Landino.
Told you earlier about DeSclafani's injury issues. So between his September 2016 starts and then his appearances this June, the Reds have had 17 different pitchers make starts.
Yep, they've given a lot of guys a lot of opportunities over the last few seasons. Let's see, the note is this. Over the previous 3 seasons, 2015 to 17, they had rookies start 51% of their games on the mound.
2010 through 13, they made the playoffs 3 times. 2013 was their last winning season. They were the wild card team that year. They finished last each of the last 3 years.
Zobrist out of the deep right, and that ball's gone. A home run. It's 8-2. Cubs have connected twice. Zobrist with number 5.
That was a laser. Off the bat of Ben Zobrist.
Toyota home run cam.
Got the head of the bat out in front of that one. And line drive that got out of here in a hurry.
Brought to you by Toyota. Tested, trusted Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Last one deep the last day of May in New York. A measure of revenge for Zobrist, who had struck out his first 2 times up.
Off the outside corner. Rizzo maybe chatting with Tucker Barnhart. Okay. 2-0. I don't know if it was Greg Gibson or Barnhart. You guess it was the umpire. Yeah, he's talking to Gibson.
Greg, and it may have been Greg's trying to hurt. If you notice that after each pitch, Gibson immediately gets right back down into his crouch.
Yep.
So he's kind of in let's go mode.
I think that's how everything started earlier. The last time Contreras was up, which resulted in the bench coach Brandon Hyde getting ejected. Danny Darwin, their pitching coach, looks on. An 8-2 ball game here in the 6th.
If nothing else, if you don't come back and win this game, you want to put a little pressure on him, make Jim Riggleman use his bullpen a little bit more aggressively than he would prefer to, and that might change, who's available in tomorrow's ball game.
Contreras pops it up, shallow left field. 2 outs. Let's take a look at the upcoming Cubs schedule, brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Off to LA after the game tomorrow.
Yeah, what you figured to be the hard part of the road trip. Again, baseball is kind of funky that way. As we mentioned earlier, the Reds swept a 4-game set from the Dodgers in LA, and that was the first time that had happened since sometime in the mid-70s, I believe. Long ball has been on display for Schwarber here of late. Numbers 13, 14, and 15 all coming in the last 4 ball games.
That is Lorenzen.
That's per home runs. Schwarber trails only Harper and that fellow there, Suarez.
Jeanette knocks it down and has time to recover. Home run by Zobrist, but the Cubs still have a long way to go to get back into this one. Billy Hamilton leading off for Cincinnati in the 6th inning. Rob Z to the plate, and that ball rifled out into right center. Hamilton gliding around the bag at first and will hold with a single.
Today's Hot Cold Players are brought to you by Plumbers 911. Call day or night at 1-833-PLUM 911. Plumbers 911, your plumbing connection. Nolan Arenado has heated up the last 10 games, hitting .375 with 5 long ones. Daniel Murphy, they waited and waited and waited to get Daniel Murphy back. So far, it has not gone well for him, hitting just a .121. But you have to assume sooner or later he will get it going. He's too good of a hitter not to.
Running game always in play with Billy Hamilton on the bases. Now, typically in a blowout game late, you don't run, but 8-2 in the 6th in this ballpark, I don't think qualifies. So Rizzo holds him on.
I don't think anybody on the Cubs side would take any umbrage if Hamilton ran here.
And Zastrisny will toss over.
Speaking of cold players, the Brewers have optioned Domingo Santana to the minor leagues.
How about that?
A 30 home run guy last year.
There he goes, and from his knees, Contreras' throw is late. Good effort. Number 15 for Hamilton.
Hamilton and Peraza, who's not in there today, two guys that can really run, make things happen. Hamilton's been batting 9th. Peraza oftentimes is in the leadoff spot. The throw was strong. The tag was good, but Hamilton, with that blazing speed, has another stolen base.
Those two guys have combined to steal 6 in the series.
And pretty good chance he's going to try to get third here as well at some point. I was talking about earlier with Hamilton. It's all about on base percentage for him. You don't worry about slugging, because once he's on first, soon thereafter he's usually at second and sometimes third. And I think, the Santana, getting back to that a little bit, the Santana demotion with the Brewers is mostly about just playing time. With Aguilar tearing it up the way he is, they're starting to play Eric Thames in the outfield, and what was already a crowded outfield situation in Milwaukee. So Santana goes to the minor leagues. PJ Manville goes to the mound. Something going on with Rob Z.
I noticed on the pickoff to first, I don't know if he stumbled, but he kind of ended up lobbing it over there. It was an awkward landing. So I'm not sure if that was somehow related. Here's the last pitch.
And he's done.
Yeah, so Zobrist has some sort of issue. Adding to the bullpen woes of the Cubs.
Well, the Cubs are probably going to have to get somebody up here anyway for tomorrow with what's transpired so far here today, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen tomorrow either.
Let's go back
Contreras
to that
saw something
pickoff attempt earlier. I don't know if this was related or caused it. He just kind of goosed it over there. And all right, so this call to the pen is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. That's Anthony Bass when we return. Is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Lakeside Bank. Personal customized banking. Lakeside Bank. It's about time. By Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. And by Mattress Firm. Go to mattressfirm.com to see how far your budget can stretch. Right-hander Anthony Bass will take as many warm-up tosses as he needs because Zobrist left due to an injury.
Yeah, he's pitching for the 8th time. He was called up on June 11th, so he's been pretty busy. And he's been effective. 8 innings. He hasn't walked a man yet.
Chance to squeeze in our Dodge out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. They're in a rain delay in Pittsburgh. That's a Greinke-Musgrove matchup, and I guess they've got us on the video board watching our game while it's raining. So hello Pittsburgh.
Hello Pittsburgh.
Cardinals have grabbed a 3-2 lead at Milwaukee in the 7th inning, and the Giants lead the Padres 4-1 in the 7th in San Francisco. Among the afternoon action, Baltimore also leading at Atlanta 7-2. That game in the 7th inning. The Orioles won in 15 innings last night.
Oh, Manny Machado walk-off, right?
It was in Atlanta, so
wasn't a
game winner in the top of the 15th.
hard to walk off on the road.
Well, you could walk off and then
Yeah.
hope your teammates get the final 3 outs.
Yeah, that's circle the bases and just go into the clubhouse. Say, I'm done. I'm going to go hit the spread. You guys finish this off. I'm going to go inside and have some of John Holland's banana pudding.
So it's 1-2 on Blandino. Hamilton, the runner at second base, called strike 3. One away. Here's Barnhart. Go ahead 2-run homer in the first.
One out would be the time you would think Hamilton would be most inclined to try to steal third base. Now you got a left-handed hitter in the box, which gives Contreras a clean throwing lane, and Addison Russell is positioned right behind second base with Barnhart hitting from the left side, so that makes it tougher for Hamilton to get an aggressive lead. But it's Billy Hamilton, so don't be surprised.
Ground ball to Zobrist. Hamilton to third, 2 outs. In that Cardinal Brewer game, Yadier Molina has 2 more home runs. He had a 2-homer game in Philadelphia 4 days ago. 3 days ago, in fact. So it's been a big week for Molina. Contreras has to be on high alert here with Hamilton at third. Anything in the dirt. 1 strike to Votto.
Get the sense that Greg Gibson, the home plate umpire, is really hunting strikes here, commenting about his body language and trying to move things along here. The other way to do that is to call a lot of strikes.
Bass ready. Call. No. Ooh. Looked like Gibson was going to ring him up.
Yeah, well, he's
called ball. 1-2.
I would say based on half a swing and proximity to the inside corner, that combines to be a strike.
I think Votto thought he was done.
Trying to protect the wicket. Anthony 94 there. That's what we've seen pretty consistently from Bass. Fastballs 93, 94, slider, occasional split finger pitch. Votto really makes you work, man. Up, down, in, out, whatever you got. You have to employ the entire toolbox.
This time he gets him. So the Reds do not score. They lead 8-2 after 6. Online at sportclips.com/check-in and claim your spot today at any of the over 90 Chicagoland locations. Seventh inning, Addison Russell looks at a strike. Anthony DeSclafani, who makes pitch number 90. And it will result in an infield pop out to Votto. What is DeSclafani doing to the Cubs bats today?
Well, I think the Cubs had the wind taken out of their sails a little bit with that that big inning. So he's been mostly aggressive since then. I thought maybe the fact that he's pretty much a two-pitch pitcher might haunt him as this game progressed, but it has not. Movement on the two-seamer has been good.
Pittsburgh native Ian Happ at the plate. It's Kyle Crockett, a lefty, along with Lorenzen, the right-hander.
You watch DeSclafani today, and you don't have that. Man, he's got a really good fill-in-the-blank working today. Just kind of a workman-like effort. What you see on a television monitor and what the hitters see too can be two different things. Sometimes the guy's stuff plays up in the batter's box based on arm angle and just how hitters see the ball coming out of his hand.
Bounced foul to first.
Javi Baez is going to get a turn.
Outside, ball 4. So Happ from the 8th spot has walked twice and singled once.
Count on Chicago's most accurate radar, live Doppler 7 Max, the most advanced technology, only on ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
That will be it for DeSclafani, I believe. Jim Riggleman.
So it's 4 walks for DeSclafani today, and that's what I mean. He's getting the job done. He's only allowed 2 runs, but with a big lead to be walking guys, it's a bit of a red flag. This guy hasn't pitched much at all the last couple of years. He's got to be thrilled with just being back out there and competing and looking for his 3rd win in 4 tries.
This call to the pen is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. We're back in a moment. The game is presented by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. DeSclafani with a season-high 6 1/3 on the mound, but he'll probably be asked more about that swing of the bat than anything else he did today.
Yeah, and that was probably the right answer to the question you asked. What has DeSclafani done well? Well, he hit a home run with the bases loaded. And he's talking to his other starting pitchers saying, see, fellas, that's all you got to do.
So Baez the pinch hitter with Happ at first, 1 out, 7th inning. That's a strike. Bottom of the zone.
Lorenzen, like DeSclafani's had injury issues, been on the DL. It's probably a little bit low. March 29th to May 22nd, Lorenzen was out of action.
Line to the shortstop, and Blandino turns a 6-3 double play. So that kind of afternoon for the Cubs. Stretch time, it's 8-2 Reds. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. It's Steve Cishek here in the 7th inning.
He follows Dunsing, Zastryzny, and Bass out of the bullpen. Luke Farrell started the game, went 2 2/3. And Steve comes on for the 36th time with a 2.01 earned run average.
Facing Scooter Gennett. And he was late on 92.
Scooter looking to become the first Red second baseman to lead the club in hits, runs, and home runs since Hall of Famer Bid McPhee did it in 1886. Note that because Bid McPhee is from my hometown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of
right?
Famer. Bid was either I think he was the last guy not to use a glove or the first one to use a glove.
Yeah, born in Messina, New York. Passed away in San Diego in 1943. His entire career was spent here in Cincinnati.
Scooter became slugger, and it's not just this year, but there's been a metamorphosis in this guy. But check out the breakdown between his first 22 and last 50.
He could not help himself, and he strikes out as a result.
He's like Popeye before and after the can of spinach.
Suarez 2 out of 3 with a run scored. He's got 6 hits in the series. Game-winning home run last night. 13-game hitting streak overall. Billy Hatcher, nice play.
Not bad, Hatch. Hatcher, one of the heroes for the Reds World Series winners in 1990.
Great series. That's deep to right. Hayward at the wall. It's off the wall. And chased down by Happ. Suarez trying to make 3. Relay not in time. It looked like Suarez actually slid beyond the bag and then grabbed it with his hand as he got in just ahead of the La Stella tag.
It appeared to be a fairly reluctant triple on the part of Suarez. He was kind of breaking it down as he rounded second base. He said, well, should I? I guess I'd better. You see it come off the wall and kick back in towards the infield.
He was safe, but watch the slide. He kind of went by the bag trying to get around La Stella, but he had already beaten it anyway.
Snuck in the back door.
Cubs will bring the infield in with
this guy has been on fire. My goodness.
Winker, and he will be intentionally walked. So that's the 4th consecutive reach today for Winker. Check out our home run leaders brought to you by Toyota. Tested, trusted Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Here's the Reds single season leaderboard. Foster in 1977, only Red to hit more than 50.
Not a Hall of Famer, but a Hall of really good.
Slider strike to Duvall. Now the infield at double play depth. And you can feel pretty comfortable playing where the Cubs are in terms of any sort of bunt. That's not Duvall's game at all. In fact, he has 0 sack bunts in his career. Swing and a miss. And it's not the perfect comp, but when fans say about guys, well, why can't you lay down a bunt? Well, that'd be like asking 7-3 center to just start firing up 40 footers.
Yeah.
Right. That's just not part of your game. which they actually do now in the NBA.
Or you get the pitcher all the time. Well, why can't pitchers hit? Well, they're not in the big leagues because of their diverse skill set. They're in the big leagues because of their ability to pitch. If they happen to hit, that's great. It's kind of like saying, why can't our place kicker tackle people? You could probably find a kicker who could tackle somebody, but he might not be as good of a kicker.
Outside for a ball.
Ben McPhee, a barehanded second baseman, and here's a quote: "The glove business has gone a little too far. True, hot hit balls do sting a little at the opening of the season, but after you get used to it, there's no trouble on that score." That was Ben McPhee on playing barehanded.
Charged to Luke Farrell, 5 charged to Brian Dunsing.
Yeah, it's been and today obviously was really ugly and a tough assignment for Brian. He hadn't pitched in almost a week, but he's gone through a rough patch now. It's been a couple of weeks where he's really struggled.
Well, Duvall's had some deep counts. I think 9 or 10 pitch at bat against Zastryzny his last time up. It resulted in a strikeout.
And a big slow curveball from Rob got him last time. Sweeping sliders and elevated fastballs for Cishek when he's going for the strikeout.
There's a ground ball. Estella to Zobrist. To Rizzo, double play. They go around the horn, 5-4-3. It's still 8-2 Cincinnati. Weekend. Download the new AccuWeather app today to get Chicago's most accurate forecast from ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Tough day for the Cubs. It's been a rough weekend to this point. Reds winning the first 2 games. They've had a couple of 6-run innings. 6th inning on Thursday. And the 3rd inning today. Irvin in for Winker in right. And Lorenzen deals to Estella, who lines to Hamilton. And battling the sun makes the catch.
For Hamilton's speed really pays off. He plays a very shallow center field, and he's able to Run down line drives that might fall in front of others. Yeah, that was a challenge there. And then the sun got in his eyes a little bit and he fought it off. Well, Estella has lined out sharply twice today. 0 for 4 despite a couple really good swings.
Hayward had 4 hits to start the series. He is 0 for 7, 0 for 8 since.
Everything on the ground today. 2 to the pull side, 1 to short.
Broken bat
there
flare.
You go.
Base hit.
Take that, Tommy.
Let's take a look at our home run cam, brought to you by Toyota. Tested, trusted Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Zobrist swats one to deep right and just gently sets the bat down and rounds the bases. Danny Darwin to the mound before Ben bats.
Dr. Death must have an appearance clause. This is getting the lefty ready. It's Rizzo, Contreras, Schwarber. The Cubs get an inning going here, so they're buying a little time to get that left-hander ready.
What do we got on the origins of the Dr. Death nickname for Danny?
Danny is a hard-boiled Texan, and he's got a lot of personality, and he dropped a lot of attitude on it. Sometimes it was legit, sometimes he was just having fun. And Nolan Ryan is the one that nicknamed him Dr. Death, and then we shortened it to Death. We just said, "What's up, Death?"
Bonham Bullet.
Bonham Bullet.
Another nickname for him. He pitched for a long time.
Yeah, very
1978 to 1998. So that's 21 years. And was a swing guy. He made almost as many. Yeah, he was about half and half, starter reliever. He did whatever you needed.
Led the league in ERA one year. He was one of those guys, and so many starting pitchers have a hard time getting up to speed. Danny, he come out of the bullpen firing bullets. And he wasn't afraid to knock somebody down. And we had a few melees over the years involving Danny, and one here with the Reds, as a matter of fact. He and Dave Parker got into it. Both got ejected. And Danny called the Reds clubhouse from our clubhouse and said, "Hey, if you're going to kick my butt, let's get it over with. I don't want to be looking over my shoulder all weekend." And Parker said, "No, we're good, man. My kid, did something this morning, and I was worried, and just in a bad frame of mind." It was interesting how real life played into it. It was
ended up going out to dinner.
Yeah. And we had one with Montreal. We got into it with them a few times. And Danny was in the middle of a couple of them. And then one game we're in the Dome, and Larry Anderson threw a slider and it backed up on him, went right over Spike Owens' head.
Foul.
And so it wasn't intentional, but because there was heightened tension between the two clubs, Spike charged the mound, both benches emptied, and it was really funny to watch the video because as Danny came out of the Astros dugout, it was like 6 guys coming out of the Expo dugout that saw him and all pointed like, "Darwin," and they just converged on him and they just started wailing on him.
Outside to Zobrist. It's 2-2. That's a base hit to left. Nice work by Zobrist.
Anthony looking towards the Reds dugout to see if Jim Riggleman's going to come out, and he is. Amir Garrett will come into this game for Rizzo. This is the last best chance, you would think, for the Cubs. And Riggleman's going to try to neutralize Anthony here.
So it'll be lefty-lefty when we come back to Cincy.
This is Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC 7.
Cubs batting in the 8th inning, trailing the Reds 8-2, and it will be Amir Garrett to face Anthony Rizzo. 2 men on, 1 out. Former basketball player in college.
Give him a little jump shot as he enters the game. St. John's, and then on to Cal State Northridge. He played for Reggie Theus there. Busy man, 35th appearance. Aroldis Chapman light. A long lefty, doesn't quite have the stuff that Chapman does, but similar. 94 and 97. Slider and a changeup, but mostly power stuff. Fastball, slider.
6'5", 210. Toward the middle. Little flip. 1. They get them both. 4-6-3 inning ending. Double play. Still 8-2 late. The 8th due to their bullpen. And remember, as Rob Zastryzny went down earlier due to an injury, Chris Jimenez making his 10th career appearance on the mound. He pitched 6 times for the Twins last season. No record in his career. 8 runs allowed, 2 homers in 9 innings of work. There's Brandon Dixon.
Yeah, Luke Farrell come out of the bullpen to make the start. So 56 pitches, so he's down for a couple of days. Brian Dunsing threw 33. Zastryzny 27 got hurt. You start thinking about tomorrow, you got to try to save some arms out there.
Yeah, you thought this might be in the offing, and it's only a 6-run game. If the Cubs had scored once or twice here in these previous couple of innings and they had chances, Joe probably would not use Chris.
Yeah, if you're 8-4, 8-5, you're not going to use your emergency guy. You got 3 outs left. You're down 6 runs. Might as well save some bullets for tomorrow.
Line drive, base hit in front of Happ. So Dixon is aboard. One interesting thing is Chris throws strikes. No walks in his career in those 9 innings of work.
Yeah, it looks to me like he's just throwing BP. He's not trying to overthrow. He's not trying to sink it or spin it. Just throwing some BP and hoping they hit it at somebody.
So maybe he's kind of doing the early days of baseball, right, where pitchers weren't really trying to throw it past guys. They were just putting the ball in play.
Yeah, like you play on the sandlot. You just serve it up there and let's go.
That's a strike on Hamilton.
If we want more action in the game, here you go. Throw it 67 miles per hour and straight as a string. Got to get on top now, get that ball down.
Three and one to Hamilton. Rizzo playing behind Dixon. And he just served his first career walk.
Even Chris not immune to the whatever you do, don't walk Billy Hamilton virus that's going around.
He's not real happy with himself.
How about a triple play?
Feathered in there for a strike.
It's funny to watch this combination of Jimenez and Contreras, because you know Wilson's back to go, man, if I was pitching I'd be throwing 94.
Line to left, there's no question, as Schwarber makes the catch. Blandino storms back into his dugout. You could probably throw a major league hitter into a slump by just getting him out if you're Chris Jimenez. 67 right down the middle.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, you know, somebody in that Reds clubhouse is going to ask him later on, hey, what's your career against Jimenez? Huh? You see him pretty well? What's he throw you?
Yeah, there is a unique quality to Jimenez in terms of position players who tend to try to either overthrow or say, I'm going to throw that curveball that got people out when I was 14. His thing is just nice and easy. Get it over the plate.
Yeah, because you're always worried. I mean, this can provide a little comic relief for a team that's getting thumped. But the one thing you don't want to do is see a guy get hurt out there. So the other thing is you got to throw the ball and also be ready to defend yourself. That's the piece that sometimes goes missing when position players pitch. Everybody's having a little fun with it, but you got to be ready in case somebody hits a rocket back at your forehead.
Swing!
Ooh, he reached back. He smelled that punch out.
84. They get Barnhart.
Keeping that in his back pocket. Against a fellow catcher too.
Okay, now it's Votto, who's probably
Votto might not want this plate appearance.
right. It's like, I don't know what he's going to do. Towering fly, deep right, and it is gone. A 3-run homer for Votto.
Well, maybe he did want that plate appearance after
He
all.
does now. Eleven to 2. Jeanette swings away and sends a towering fly out to Hayward. And we will go to the ninth. It's Cincinnati 11 and the Cubs 2. Player of the game is brought to you by your local Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Anthony DeSclafani with a quality start and a grand slam. And the Reds lead big late.
6 1/3 innings of work, allowed a couple of solo home runs, not much else. And, the first grand slam by a Reds pitcher since Bob Perky, and what did you say, 1959?
Yep. Joey Votto done for the afternoon. Dixon stays in and plays first. Former Cub Dylan Floro.
First look at him in this series, and he's having a pretty nice year with a 279.
Strike one on Wilson Contreras. Floro's first big league win came against the Cubs on May 19th. That was the first game of that doubleheader, which the Reds won in 11.
Distinctive style here as he comes set with a glove right. His nose is right in his glove, basically. The first fastball went on the board at 94. I don't remember that from Dylan. Check that out, man. He's in there. He's smelling it. Smell the ball, be the ball. Every now and then our field microphone, you can pick up Joe. He's still cheering on his boys down there. Atta boy, atta baby. 11-2 game in the ninth. Got to be the same guy when you're going good, when you're going bad.
Toward the hole, smothered by Blandino, and he got him. What a play by utility man Alex Blandino. Wow. I didn't think he had a shot.
Yeah. Contreras runs really well. He's kind of leaning back as he made the swing, so maybe didn't get the best break, but Blandino's 2-3 steps into the outfield there. And just slings it on the money to get the out.
Ball one to Schwarber. Well, the Cubs are going to have to get a real good outing from Tyler Chatwood tomorrow. And as I mentioned earlier, could be looking at a roster move to help out a pretty tired bullpen.
Meanwhile, the Reds got 6 1/3 from DeSclafani here today, and none of their relievers have really been overworked. Lorenzen threw 15 pitches in an inning. Garrett got 2 outs on 2 pitches. Iglesias worked yesterday. He'll be good to go tomorrow.
Hit hard and foul. Paid attendance today 36,818.
The Red starter tomorrow, Sal Romano, went 7 shutout innings in his last start, and the one before that he went 8 innings and allowed 1 run. So the big guy's been on a pretty good roll.
Unfortunately, that screaming foul ball got a fan, so hopefully He is okay. Schwarber draws the walk.
They've taken 5 walks today. They've only struck out 3 times. Usually that means good things, but just 5 hits, 3 to go along with a couple solo home runs. And everybody kind of still focused on the fan down the right field line.
The Cardinals have a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 9th in Milwaukee. Bud Norris pitching. And a man on, 1 out. As that ball's hit out into deep right. Irvin to the wall, makes the catch. So Russell with a loud second out. And it will be Ian Happ, who's reached all 3 times. Final chance for the Cubs today. In that game in Milwaukee, Yadier Molina with 2 home runs, supplying all 3 Cardinal tallies. And that is now a final. And the Cubs will remain 2 games back behind the division leaders. And a foul. Schwarber at first, 2 outs, 9th inning, and an 0-2 count on Happ. By the way, the Votto home run in the 8th was his 265th. That ties him for 2nd on the all-time list of Canadian-born big leaguers. Matt Stairs at 265 as well, and Floro thought he should have made the catch. Larry Walker, the all-time leader, 383.
How about Gretzky? How many did he get?
He scored a lot more than that, but no home runs.
I think I'd heard once that Wayne played a little ball as a kid.
I'm sure he did.
He had to have been a pretty good player.
The Cubs drafted his son Trevor.
That's right.
Base hit. Trevor now an independent ball.
Well, Ian Happ has had a day. 2 knocks, 2 walks. He came in batting .378 in this ballpark for his career. Here's the pitcher, Chris Jimenez. It won't be fair that Dylan Floro will throw him a little BP, but it's not likely to happen.
Yeah, it would only be fair if Floro gave him,
just
one cookie to hit. He's not treating him like a pitcher. 2 balls and a strike to Jimenez. Ground ball to third. Suarez backhands out, recorded at second, and that's it. So the Reds have clinched the series, and the Cubs will need a win tomorrow to avoid a sweep. Final score on this Saturday afternoon: the Reds 11, the Cubs 2. We'll be back.